Looks great. Sounds great.
Greetings and felicitations. Hip hip hurrah, and yes, Mr. Spock, it is pronounced tally ho. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a Sunday just streaming kind of thing over here with Mr. Lundell and his groovy movies. And as always, joined by the magical, lovely, talented, whimsical Yvette.
Whimsical. Hello, everyone. Hi, Mr. Lundell. Thank you for having me again. Hopefully, this time it will not be the Yvette show because I want to see your list.
And words, I put a 50-pound note in the damn thing. Okay, I should be good. So
Oh, God.
today, okay, I had to make up for the Monday fiasco. So, and that's what partly today is, because as I got to thinking about this, well, we could kind of stretch this out a little bit. So
Hmm.
it'll be today, for as long as we can go and Yvette can stand it. We'll do television shows,
Hmm.
British sci-fi and American sci-fi. So I have
Top
top
10 of
10.
each. Yeah, top 10 of
Yes.
each.
So I have my lists plural,
Lists.
and I believe Yvette has had to do some rework around and
Yeah,
so
I have
forth.
my two lists. Obviously, some you heard me talk about last week, so I will be very short and sweet with them. But because I made room, because I've now got an American list and an English list, I got more English stuff that I wanted to put on and more American stuff I wanted to put on. Of
Yeah.
course, my number one American one hasn't changed, people, and we all know what it is. So, yeah.
So joining us today, we have Words and Pictures,
Hey, words.
Thomas.
Hey,
Been a while.
Thomas.
He's been under the weather and he's back
Oh,
with us.
yeah.
It's always good to have you back, Thomas. I mean,
Yep.
who else is, well, I guess they'll start jumping in as they find the stream.
Yeah,
So
there's a few people just sort of not saying hello yet. I expect LDG to manage to type hello into the chat at the very least. If we can manage that.
So
it's not just natural, it's supernatural. Yeah. Hey, Resolute. Good to see you, darling.
oh, the Dermster, what's up? Okay. He is Mikey in the nerd community. He hates everything. It's always good to see Resolute. So now, these lists, especially me. Okay, I started looking at my database and my watch lists on like Pluto and Tubi, and I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this and I like that, but I like
Yeah.
this better. Or
Yeah.
do I? Because then there's this other thing way down here, and and for like 24 hours when I was first doing the list, I was like, fuck this. I can't
There's
get.
LDG. He didn't manage to say hello, he just appeared.
Oh, he's crawling in now. Okay. Yeah. Tell you what, LDG.
You can go lie back down, LDG, now.
Yeah, just what it really helps in these situations is a greasy pork chop sandwich served in a dirty ashtray.
I found many years ago, if you buy a Big Mac while you're pissed, don't eat it, take it home, put it in the fridge. Eat it for breakfast cold. It has everything in it to combat a hangover. And I'm not kidding you guys. It's worked 9 times out of 10 with me. And that and a large coffee, of course, a bucket of coffee. That, because you've got the carbs, you've got the protein, you got
Oh yeah.
food groups are in a Big Mac. And obviously you can heat it if you really want to. I'm just disgusting. But yeah, worked for me so many times. Obviously I can't drink anymore. But yeah, really it's a good tip, that one, if you ever know you're going out on the piss, and grab one, stuff it in the bottom of your handbag. I'm talking to blokes. What am I saying? Stuff it wherever, and then you eat it in the morning. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So now, I guess it's back to business. So
it's damn hard, these lists, because doing
yeah.
a top 10 of anything when you and me have collections that rival some of the best. I mean, both of us have mega. We have mega collections. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is difficult. It really is. And I've there's a couple I now want to watch again now.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen them in a while, and I'm like, oh, that's going on the list now.
And there may be one or two of mine that will get a collective groan from everybody, but I don't care.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look, there's no right or wrong with these lists. These are our own personal choices. So everyone can respect that. And guys, you can vote for who you think the number one should be out of the two of ours, or let us know what your number one is for them.
Especially that,
Yeah.
You should have your list, and my
and
number
by
5.
all means, get a pen and paper ready, because you will want to watch some of these. On the
Yeah.
piss, a wonderful English expression. Yep. What are you doing tonight about? I'm on the piss.
Sounds like something we would say about the ladies.
Yeah,
on
I know.
time.
I know. Yeah, because when you need a pee, you can use the word "I need a piss," but pissed, P-I-S-S-E-D, pissed means you're drunk.
Yeah.
So on the piss is from that side of it. Yeah, the English language is so confusing, and we have we have some wicked expressions that don't sound right to Americans.
Okay. Enough of the bodily functions.
Yes.
So let's kind of get into this. Okay.
Yep, you're first.
Yes. See, she twisted my arm, so I
I
can't
said
be.
they'd heard enough of me last week, so you go first.
I can't be chivalrous, so she has to open the door for me now. So,
Yes, I am.
Anywho, top 10 American. Well, now let's start with the
No,
British.
I was going to say, you said British first.
Yeah, start with the
Yep.
British.
So,
And here it comes.
here
And
we go.
in this list, there are some controversial ones.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
here it goes. 3, 2, 1. It starts. Thunderbirds. Okay. I know. As a kid,
You.
Stingray. See, I knew she would do this, but okay.
Yeah, well, that's
Stingray.
because I have a fear of puppets and marionettes.
But okay, but come on. It's the 60s. I'm 5. We're probably 4, 5, 6 years old. This was great stuff. You know, with the marionettes and and they're jumping in their little spaceships and the submarines and they're saving humanity from itself. And then that was my man right there.
Well.
Captain Scarlet. Indestructible.
Oh, Jesus. Are you trying to freak me out completely and make me run away?
It gets better. Just
I will say one thing about all these. I have seen most of these marionettes personally at Bray Studios, where most of these were shot, and they're massive.
Mm-hmm.
They're massive.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on, please.
See, and the story you told us about how you walked past them and they didn't do anything to you.
Yeah.
Because
I still legged it past them.
They're just dogs.
Yeah, well, I had one eye on them at all times.
And we're getting into okay.
Yes.
There's no complaint about this. It's
absolutely
cold outside,
not.
No type of atmosphere. We're all alone, more or less.
Alone. Yeah.
This show, okay. Cat, especially, that was probably my favorite character. And
I move between them depending on seasons. Some seasons I like Rimmer. Some seasons I like Lister. Some seasons I like Crime Best, and some seasons I like Cat Best. It is just a wonderful show.
Cat did it for me when they created Dwayne Dibley.
Oh my god, yeah, Dwayne. Oh my god. Cat did it for me in backwards when he went accidentally for a poo. And everything in backwards. Oh my god, I was crying with laughter when he came out of the bushes. So many wonderful episodes.
Yeah, and it's still going.
Really are.
Look, they're all over.
Yeah, they're still making it. There's another one coming out. So yeah, from the 80s to now, Red Dwarf has been, and it was at the time when it was launched, there was no comedy sci-fi at all. when it was launched.
You're right.
I mean, it was the first one. It beat Third Rock from the Sun and things like that, which I don't. It is an alien-y type thing, but it's nothing like Red Dwarf. And it's filmed in front of a live studio audience. That's not laughter, people. It's people. A lot of the Red Dwarf shots inside are filmed in a studio audience, and that's genuine studio audiences laughing.
Yeah. Okay.
Word says this is one of those rare moments when the actors have chemistry that works on screen. Actually, a little piece of knowledge I do know is Rimmer and Lister hated each other when they started, and they used to argue constantly on the set. But eventually they put it to one side because and that was part of the charisma where everyone hates Rimmer. Lister actually genuinely hated him.
Well, I mean,
they did put it aside. They did put it aside eventually.
Well, I mean, probably the best episode was when they were trying to teach Crichton to say Smeghead.
Oh, Smee!
Yeah. But you knew what he was doing because he could get mad, but he couldn't do anything about it. That was the thing about Smeg.
So Backwards is probably my favorite episode, but I did like the polymorph. Oh my god, that was so funny. It turned into a kebab. And God knows what else. Oh, that was so good.
Now we get into
absolute classic. Yeah. Bonkers. The Bonkers show. One of them.
Yeah.
But we love it.
I still don't understand episode 1.
Yeah, no.
It's just.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No. I was going to say we've been sort of getting through it when I have time. I put it on in my private one. We watched the second story, which was like 12 episodes long, but it was at the train station one. That was my favorite. Yeah. And look at Joanna Lumley there. Stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
I did kind of get the train station episode.
Yeah.
And it because it started out, I thought this was just like a straight up ghost story.
Yeah.
But it's not. It really was.
It never is a straight up story.
And yeah, Resolute. That's where we get Red Dwarf in the US is PBS. You should. By now, you should have more than just 2 seasons, though.
Well, to be honest, Resolute, I've got the lot, so I could, when you're free, I can put them all on in my Cosmic if you want to see them all.
Oh, yeah. This was one of the shows I struggled with where to put it on the list.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, if you class yourself as a nerd, sci-fi nerd,
you better have this on your list.
Yeah. Resolute says he's got Red Dwarf on Tubi now. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, The Prisoner is a must.
Yeah.
It's an absolute must. Because it's going to get lost in time because the youngsters aren't going to see it. We need to keep this show alive. And I think I mentioned last week, the village is in Wales, and I've been twice. And it looks exactly as it does on The Prisoner. It's really cool. It's a very old little village.
Yeah.
Ambiguous
And
weirdness.
like now,
Nice.
I mean, there is a constant argument about this. Was he a spy or what? You know,
Yeah, we never find out, do we? Did he do something wrong? Or did he know too much? Or did he find out something he shouldn't have? You know.
yeah, it is. But now the theory I've been working on with this is okay, Patrick McGowan, the show he did just before this one,
Mm-hmm.
in the UK, it was Danger Man. The
Yeah.
US, they changed the name to Secret Agent. And that show ran, I forget how many seasons, and then it was this.
Yeah.
Looking at the timeline, it makes sense that he would be a spy, and he got to the point where it was F this shit, I'm out.
Yeah. And
Because
unfortunately, as a spy, you can't F this shit and just walk away.
yeah, it's like the mafia. You
Yeah.
you, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you live
So
out your life in this weird village with bouncing white balls.
yeah. And A&E tried to do a mini series of this, and they wanted to concentrate on that damn bouncing ball. I'm like, no, it only showed up a handful of times
Yeah,
in
you
the
didn't need to
series.
see it anymore. That you knew they were there,
Yeah.
you know,
And
and that's the
yeah,
beauty of it.
it was only there as it was a prison guard.
Yeah, they were prison girls. Yeah.
So I mean, I guess for the younger people, that's all they remember.
Yeah, possibly. Thomas
And
makes
if
a good.
yeah,
Sorry.
really, if you haven't seen this, you get a chance, you should watch it alone.
Yeah, you should watch it just because you should watch it because it is
Yeah,
part of our history, and
yeah,
it's immensely weird. It's
especially the last two episodes.
oh yeah, yeah. It and if you can wrap your head around this, and you may have to watch it a couple of times, if you can wrap your head around it, you are a proper sci-fi nerd,
Yeah,
not a geek nerd. You get status as a nerd for that.
uh-huh. So Resolute has been trying to get the Prisoner DV collection for years. Uh, yeah,
I can get hold of it resolute here very easily. As
uh,
long as you've got a DVD player that'll play any region,
yeah,
hit me up in the underground and we can sort something out.
yeah,
Because Mr. Londell, I've got a list of Mr. Londells he wants for his birthday, which is coming up soon. Mine's first though. And I've got 3 of his he can't get hold of. So a lot of, British stuff, hit me up in the underground or DM me resolute.
yeah.
And I can let you know. Happy to help. So, what's your next one?
Space,
Yeah.
1999, but only season 1. They
Yeah.
so jumped the shark in season 2, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But as a whole, I do have criticisms about this show, like
Mm-hmm.
the makeup for the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
They looked
Oh,
like
yeah.
they were Studio 54 rejects, most of them.
Well, I did like season 2 because I had a thing for the girl that could change into any animal. I know
Oh
she
yeah,
was in
Maya.
season 1. Maya.
Maya was
Yeah,
cool.
she was brilliant. And this is another one that was made at Bray. And I actually saw, you know how when the eagles took off and
Yeah,
went along the landscape, It's a rolling mat they turned.
Uh-huh.
And Brace Studios, if you're ever over here, you can do a tour. I had a nice private tour and drinkies and everything next to those marionettes. Ugh. Anyway, but and I think I've told you this, guys. The Hammer House that a lot of the Hammer horrors were filmed in is now a hotel, and it is booked up to the eyeballs. So you have to book well in advance to stay and get creeped out in one of them of the rooms. So yeah, and that was like 5 minutes from where I used to live. Hey, Scotty.
No.
He's got the prisoner set. Good on you.
Yeah, I don't have prisoner. I'm gonna have to add that to my collection. And
in other words, I've got to add it to your list.
Now,
which isn't a problem.
Do not go into receivership, okay?
UFO. You know what? The best thing about UFO were the outfits. The purple. I love purple.
Oh yeah, the moon honeys. I love them. I don't, and this show was. I mean, I would call this show groovy.
Yeah.
The whole
it was so 60s, wasn't it? With the high boots, the mini skirts. And the hair. I loved the whole outfit they wore.
And the thing about it was, he was a colonel running this super secret agency that's defending the Earth from aliens. And its cover was a movie studio.
Yeah.
You see, he come into work in the morning, his fancy little futuristic car. He jumps out, with the Nehru suit on and everything, and he's walking through, and you see him shooting a Western over here and a love story over there. Goes into his office. It immediately is a big ass elevator. It immediately goes underground.
Of course.
And that's where everything.
You can't have a secret base if it doesn't have an elevator that goes down and down and down.
Yeah. And to me, that was the thing. Every Sunday as a kid, I had to watch UFO.
Thomas says Catherine Schell, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Maximilian's sister. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Was she in UFO?
I don't know.
Or was she in Space 1999? Oh, she's probably, that's probably
Catherine
Maya.
Schell. She played Maya.
Maya, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that was his sister.
Oh, I didn't. See, we learn something every day.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas.
See, Thomas is an info guy, just like words and pictures.
Yep.
Okay. And now we go on to number 2.
You're holding us in suspenders here. Survivors.
This show.
Great. Yeah.
This is one of the shows that really got me hooked on public broadcasting here in the U.S. I mean, it was the darndest plot. You would never see. I don't think you would ever have saw this on American television. Some kind of disease.
Yeah.
Bacteria, flu or something spreads. It kills 98% of the world's population.
Yep.
And you got a handful of people left in England. There is very, very few people. You've got one woman who she was divorced, and she was trying to get to her son who's in a boarding school. And then you had an engineer guy and another woman that watched her roommate die from this disease.
I can't remember it all because it's not one of my favorites, but I have seen it all the way through. I'm Roku, hi honey. Mwah.
Well, it's striking because what's his face does The Stand, The Stand.
Oh, I loved
probably
The
a few years
Stand.
later, Stephen King.
But that comes under a mini series, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's not a
well, it
TV
was a
series,
book,
that's a mini series. Oh, I read the book way before I saw the TV series. But I thought the mini series, they did like 3 movie type lengths, didn't they? And Rob Lowe was in it, and they cut a lot out of the book, but that's not surprising because Stephen King's books are a nightmare. They're like doorstops for giant doors. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's your number one?
Number one. Drum roll, please. And with thunderous applause.
Blake 7. Got Thunderbirds back up. Yeah. Oh my god, the wobbly sets. I love their guns. They were so weird. They plugged in with little coily things.
That didn't make a lot of sense to me. You had to plug the guns into your hip pack. Okay. But, so I've heard people, like try to point out that you can't use transporters because of Star Trek. Blake 7 used transporters.
Yeah. And Blue Peter, and I think only words would probably get this, showed us how to make a Blake 7 transporter out of a cardboard tube and things. But I do have, and it's still in its wrapper, along with some Star Trek things in their wrapper, a kit to make one of them. An actual Blake 7 official kit to make the transporter bracelet, but I've never opened it.
Oh.
Because I'm no good at models, so it's something I would probably leave to Timmy, but he wouldn't get it because he's not seen Blake 7, I'm sure. Serverland, wow.
Oh,
she was evil, but stunning.
I know.
She always looked amazing.
I had a wild and lustful crush on that woman.
I think everyone did, including me. Yeah, there's just something about her.
Yeah.
Me, says Timmy. Yeah. I hope you've seen Blake 7.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, we can correct
She was the diabolical woman that could have any man she wanted until she ran across the one guy
that said no. Remember. Avon.
Not Avon. There was one episode where there was one guy, and he would come in her office and be like, "Sit down, woman." Okay.
Oh, he was the one with the eye patch, wasn't he?
Not him.
He treated her. No.
Not him. It was. This was just like one episode. The guy.
Ah, right.
And
there were quite a lot of episodes. I mean, I loved Zen, the main computer, but Aurak was hilarious.
Yeah, Aurak was the computer.
Although I would have torn its insides out so many times because it was so bloody rude.
Yeah.
But they destroyed the Liberator, and I have a model of it, and you really can't get hold of those.
No, I did not like that at all.
No, nobody did.
But what I really, really, to the core of my being, hate they did in this series was the last episode.
And you and everyone else, including me, agree. It was just, why? Why would you do that?
I mean, just people just standing around and they all get shot.
Yeah, they kill everyone.
And the last thing you see is Avon with a shitty grin on his face.
Yeah, because he never smiles.
Uh-huh.
And it's rare he smiles. So it makes an impact when he does it. And that was like, no. Because Blake turned up because he leaves halfway through. And he turns up at the end and we're like, oh my God, it's Blake. And then he gets shot.
Yeah. That was just,
Hey, Gorilla.
oh. Okay.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Drive safely, my friend, and don't get too angry when we put a show in a list, in a position you don't think it should be in. Just
don't you worry. Nothing's wrong. Nothing is ever wrong with opinions. These are our top 10s. Everyone can have their own top 10s.
And okay, one thing about Jacqueline Pierce, who played Servalan, she was before this, she was a Hammer Honey.
Yeah.
She did 2 or 3. She did like 3 Hammer movies. So
that's right.
She classifies as a Hammer babe. So, and okay, and another interesting fact: the way this show started, what we learned about Blake. It was shocking. Okay, he was in prison for molesting children, or at least that's what they brainwashed him to believe.
Yeah.
I don't even think they would do that today in a television show.
No, but they'd never get away with it. But I mean, I remember speaking to a lot of Americans about Blake Sherman, and they were like, that would never have passed in America.
No, it wouldn't. I was shocked that it passed in Britain, but then it was nothing. I mean, you guys have women topless in your newspapers.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Gorilla, behave.
Well, if you can get away with it, Gorilla, go for it. Now, okay.
No, he has children.
Yeah. Oh,
so well. Are we ready for mine? We have some duplicates.
Ma'am. It is.
We have duplicates, right? There we go. So I can't see the StreamYard now because I got this up. So you tell me when to go.
Okay. Up and running. Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency is showing.
Okay. So this is my surprise one. A lot of people won't have even heard of this. However, it is a Douglas Adams show.
Yeah. So Douglas
read the book way before this came out. This is relatively new. I consider anything 20 years old relatively new because I'm an old fart. Yeah. It is another bonkers one. He kind of this guy here, that's Dirk Gently, and he can kind of sort of see things happening in the future, but not. And he goes on the hunt. He fights Thor. I mean, it's funny as hell. It's what you expect from Douglas Adams. And it was they made a TV show which wasn't too bad. I mean, the book's far better, but yeah, it's definitely worth watching. That was my surprise one that I thought maybe people wouldn't know. No, I can't see the messages.
I've seen Dirk.
Okay.
They showed it here on BBC America. So I've seen Dirk.
Yeah. Well, I'm impressed. Okay. My number 9, and hang on, let me blow that up. Life on Mars. Sorry about the pixels. Life on Mars. Now, a lot of people don't think this is sci-fi. However, it's about this chap here who's from modern day, gets hit by a car. Now, at this point, we have no idea what's going on, but he wakes up in 1970s.
Hmm.
and he's a detective. So he is expected by, this is his boss, and it's all 70s cars and 70s this and that and the other. And as we travel through, we learn, is he in a coma dreaming all this, or is it real? And it's a great show. It's thoroughly enjoyed it because I'm not into detective stories, but because of the twist to it and his knowledge from the future helped them solve a lot of crimes because they weren't doing it, but that way. And there was a second series called Ashes to Ashes with they did with a woman, similar thing, but she'd already read about what happened to him, and this was set in the 80s. So there's two of them, but Life on Mars, you either like it or you don't. I do, but it's one that haven't watched in a long time, and I've got it out to watch because it's been a while. So my number 8 is a duplicate of yours.
Number 8, though. Come on.
Yeah, number 8. So I'm going to move on to my number 7. And I can't believe you didn't do this one. Day of the Trippies, the TV series, the BBC TV series, which was better than the movie. I mean, oh my God, plants walking around with big long tongues that
this
slap
is the
you
one
in the face.
Okay, this is the one that came out in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
He had
the TV series.
This is the guy. He's been bit so many times by Triffids. He's immune to them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and that's the special gun they would use where he worked.
Yeah,
okay.
It was an electricity was the only thing. They had an electronic fence around the place they ended up. Yeah. And of course, he's the guy that didn't go blind because he didn't see the meteors. But great. You may recognize this guy from original Doctor Who. He was in Peter Davidson's era. He was a sleazeball that helped the Daleks and then helped the Cybermen. And then helped the Cybermen.
Yeah, I think that was what's her name's last episode, Tegan's.
Yes, we was such a sad moment. Not. All right, moving straight along. I didn't like Tegan. Number 6 is another duplicate. There he is, the prisoner.
Number 6.
Yeah, number 6. Right, so I'm going to move along. Number 5 is Sapphire and Steel. Again, another duplicate.
Yeah.
Not surprised. So 4, Blake 7.
I just question where you put them on the list.
Yeah, no. I put them on my list for a reason. So I'm going to skip through the ones we've already covered.
Oh, okay.
Number 3 is Primeval. I talked about this last Saturday. And I know Words has already seen 3 episodes since I reminded him. Fantastic show. Well worth a watch. Real great if you like dinosaurs and things, which I do, and anomalies to other points in history. And so, number 2, Red Dwarf, of course.
Yes.
So, what's my number 1, anyone? Any ideas? I think you forgot about this one. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, I damn sure did.
Yeah.
I damn sure did.
The best 80s version and the best version of the Hitchhikers.
Well, it's the best version, period. When the movie came out,
oh gosh,
people that I worked with, I suggested that they find this BBC series and watch it first. And and the movie was such a disappointment. I was expecting all of these little, like they did in the series.
Yeah.
Excerpts from the guide,
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to
And
watch The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for the first time, you watch this TV series.
yeah,
Don't go to the film. Now, I've heard from youngsters they love the film. Fine. If you've not seen the TV series. This is why we're doing these lists, because we want to
yeah.
remind people
You know,
these newer films the kids are watching and thinking that's great, and they're shit compared to the originals.
yeah,
You know. So yeah, number one for me, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There we go. So that's my British lot. I'll do that. And if you stop sharing my screen for the moment, I'll leave it up because we've got the American ones. There we
okay.
go. Right. So, what did I miss in the chat? Because I couldn't see anything. I've only got one monitor.
Okay. Not much. Okay.
No. Primeval, yes, fab. Watch. Good story, plot, and action. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, I love the last one. Yes, Hammer Gal. Yeah.
Yeah. It shocked me because remember the Hammer movie about zombies. She was in that.
Yep. Yeah. And you think about it, Hammer was like 70s. Blake Seven was 79 to 83, I think.
Yeah.
And she looked so amazing. Now that's a great quote. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. Yeah. So we have a lot of repeats, which is a good thing, because it doesn't surprise me, because we know each other very well and we have very similar tastes. So, so guys, let's just take a minute.
Yeah.
Who is who's number one do you prefer, or would you like to give us your number one of your British sci-fi TV shows you like?
Yeah, well, you know what, I can't argue with her list.
No, I mean,
I
half of them you had, yeah.
See, I would have put Blake 7 and Space 1999 higher. That's the only problem.
Yeah, except I went by how many times I've watched them. That's how I did that one.
Oh, okay. But see, I was going by quality.
Oh yeah, no, but I also think when we're doing these lists, it's not just an opinion. It's all right. How many times have I watched that? Oh my god! So I kind of tried to put that in as well as my. It helps you choose a bit because there's so many, but it goes to show how many similar. I mean, I think 5 of them were duplicates, weren't they? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Brogu loves Space 1999.
Yeah.
Shout Studio is running marathons of it on their YouTube channel. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's so many, but certainly I hope Alice for the British sci-fi TV series are giving you guys some ideas to watch.
Yeah,
highly recommend any one of them. And if you've not seen Hitchhikers, that's another must, like The Prisoner.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's only like 12 episodes long.
Yeah, it's literally 12 episodes long, but
it covers the book more in depth.
Well, almost completely. I mean, they have to cut a few bits out, and I have read the book. I have replaced it 3 times. I have all 5 books in one, and it's a battered book. And I used to take it everywhere with me, and I'd read it over and over and over again because it's just one of those ones.
Yeah. And Grogu remembers The Prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did you get the last 2 episodes? That's the ultimate question.
there's so much debate about the last 2 episodes because there are so many answers, or rather, so many questions and answers. There are
Yeah.
so many ideas of what it meant because they never answered it. They left it up to us, which is a shit, but also made it very interesting.
I mean, because every time I watch, especially the final episode, I keep asking myself, okay, is he really out of that place, or are they messing with him again?
Yeah. That's something that crossed my mind as well. I like to think he got out, but he could well have not have.
I mean, and I just never trusted the midget. That's he was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Alrighty. So we got the American top 10. Do you want to reverse? Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Let's see yours.
You want to see mine? Okay,
Yes.
let me just pull it up first. I'm gonna shut that down, and I'm gonna open that. Go to that, and go to that, and blow that up. All right, I've got my first one up.
Oh,
this is a bit of maybe a contentious one because I loved the movie, and I rarely give TV series a go, but I got into this because it followed the movie properly. So this is one I liked, and the whole premise of
I have not seen this television show.
It wasn't long enough. They cut it off too short, but it's certainly worth a watch if you like the movie. Obviously, you don't like the movie, don't bother. But if you like the movie and the premise behind it, this is it takes it beyond the movie. But it doesn't fuck around with the movie lore. It stays within it. So it worked. It worked really well. So yeah, that's my first American one. Okay, so that's number 10. Moving right along to number 9. And let me blow that up. One I couldn't fit in, but I did mention as an honourable, Sliders. Yeah. Of course, Sliders. They're jumping from alternate realities, something a quantum physicist looks at every day. Yeah, I loved the professor. I thought he was great. I loved the poor guy whose car they jumped into. Yeah, and Quinn was brilliant. There were a few weird episodes that I didn't like. But on the whole, it's a good watch. However, it's not for everyone, this one, again. But it is a personal favourite of mine. I own the entire collection. So, yeah. There you go. And moving right along to number 8. Again, we talked about this last week, Sanctuary. I won't go into it. Again, that ended way too soon. Lots of monsters.
I totally agree.
Great fun. Great fun. And Amanda Tapping with black hair.
I know, she was gorgeous in this show.
Yeah.
That was, I mean.
Yeah, she was stunning. And her daughter was stunning as well. Yeah. And, of course, he's Jack the Ripper. And there's Teslas in it. And it's just, it's a little bit bonkers. But,
I mean,
watching, really good show.
Watching this show, I wanted to bang Amanda Tapping more than I did when she was Carter on
I did quite like the geeky guy, but not enough to want to throw him on a bed and bang him like that. But I did like the geeky guy in it.
Brogu, you need to find Sanctuary and watch.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, it's all done on sound stages, and the CGI is terrible.
Yeah, but look past it because the story is I always go story first before everything else. If the story's good, you can cope with anything else. And it was a really unique premise, this one. Again, an original story that someone came up with. You know, people just aren't capable of that now, you know. So, yeah, all right. So, moving along. 7, Outer Limits. Of course. Loved Outer Limits. Great fun. Good stories.
But
always
7?
Interesting.
7?
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, with the Outer Limits, number 6 would be the Twilight Zone. So, yeah, both of those, the Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, I couldn't get them all in. I put those 2 in. I mean, I like the Creep Show, although the puppet at the beginning used to freak me the hell out. But once he'd gone, I used to sit there with my eyes shut while he was talking, and then we'd move on to the first story, and I'd be okay then. So, yeah. Twilight Zone, what can I say? Again, you're not seeing it? Lose your nerd card.
I know.
Number 5.
Sam
we got
himself.
Quantum Leap. We are not talking about the new one. This is the original. Again, I talked about this last week, so I won't go into it too much, but my favourites are when he turned into a woman. That was always hilarious. And the very last episode, although I hate the endings of all shows, it was unusual. Very unusual. Very, very unusual. But I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it. Okay, so moving along to the top 4, we've got a new addition, Lucifer. Now, Lucifer could come under horror or sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit of everything in it. It's as funny as hell. Basically, Lucifer, played by someone I would bang instantly. He
takes a vacation in LA.
Yeah, he takes a vacation to LA. And he decides to become an advisory detective. And he turns reasonably good, although he does a few naughty things, but he can be forgiven for that. Again, it ended. The ending I wasn't happy with, but who is on endings? So,
okay.
Number 3, my top 3. Grimm. Again, one I couldn't fit in the last time. Grimm is fantastic. Absolutely loved this. I came home, or rather, I was at the television set as it aired to see the next episode, and it was just brilliant. Grimm Brothers fairy tales, so you can imagine the sort of these 2 are detectives, but this guy has Grimm blood in him, and basically he can see the real monster behind the mask of the human, whereas he can't. So all of a sudden, when someone dies in the family, someone else gets the power to see it, and his aunt is nearing the end of her life, and he's like just being normal, and all of a sudden he sees a witch, and it's gruesome, and it goes from there. So the first story is Red Riding Hood. So yeah, great show. 5.5 seasons. So there are 6 seasons, but the 6 is only half a season. And that was the fans that made that happen. So there we go. Right, number 2, Warehouse 13. Again, I talked about this last week. I would love to be locked up in Warehouse 13 and play with everything. But everything in there has a downside.
You're going to stay away from warehouses in my world. Okay.
And of course, my number 1 American show. What is it, people? It is Supernatural. We don't need to speak about this because I won't shut up. So There we go. There's my American top 10.
Okay. So good list. I mean, so many on there that I considered and said no.
Yeah.
They didn't end up on, you know. But and you did put Twilight Zone and Outer Limits together.
Well, no, they had their own slots. That was.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
one behind the other. That's what
Yeah.
I'm.
Yeah. Well, I plonked them in the middle because that's where they live. I mean, mine.
Oh, okay. So, time for the controversy.
Yay! Let's see yours.
Mr. Lundell's,
Thanks, words.
and we start with
Firefly. Yeah. Do you know,
Okay.
I wasn't a fan.
Now, this show when it aired, it's only one season. I saw so much damn potential in it. And like they've always described sci-fi as a western. This this was a western turning sci-fi to me.
See,
And
this is why I probably didn't like it. I'm not a Western fan. Hey, Jeff.
and like what they call Seinfeld, the show about nothing. This was a show about nothing. You had a guy with a ship and a crew, and they just bounced around from planet to moon to planet in this system doing odd jobs. Some of them good, some of them bad, you know. And you had a preacher and an atheist and a doctor with his crazy sister. And they cut what pissed me off the most. They canceled the show right when we were beginning to see what was wrong with the sister.
Ah.
And they made a movie and, tied all those loose ends up. But I would have loved to have seen it kind of drawn out in another season. And this is one of the cancellations I blame Fox on for being assholes, which, a lot you got, and then I've come to figure out you've got assholes that are working for these network televisions. They're a better show that think they're a better showrunner than the showrunner, a better writer than the writers.
Yeah.
And a lot of the episodes, the way Josh Whedon had them in the order, they switched them around, and it made no sense.
Yeah.
See, and so it was like they wanted it dead, I guess.
Yeah. Funny you should say that because I debated on Constantine or Constantine, depending on how you pronounce it, because that TV series was fantastic, but they cancelled it after one season. And although I loved it, they left us on a cliffhanger and they cancelled it. So although I loved it, it didn't warrant the top 10 because they cancelled it.
Well, cancellations didn't play into what I was doing. It was
that's fine.
What I saw, and there are a lot of shows that had great potential, but the powers that be didn't like it, and so it got quashed.
Brogu, you said the word remake and B.
Uh-oh, you pissed her off. Number 9.
Battlestar Galactica.
Not this. The scratch out the word miniseries under there.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
talking about the complete run.
This is the new one, isn't it?
Correct. Well, and I might add, I could actually combine this new one with the old one. They were both dealing with the same subject matter, except that the Ronald D. Moore Galactica was more in your face with it.
Okay, I take offense to the fact you want to actually put them together because the original was the best, and that was a pile of crap for me.
Well, the original, you have to put them in the time periods. Okay, in the 70s, you are not going to do a show about genocide. Okay, you are not going to do that. And what genocide and what you have to do and are willing to do to stop it from happening. See, now Ronald D. Moore did that. He,
yeah,
the biggest major theme in what Moore did, genocide. How many times did you hear either Adama or the president say something like, "We got to start having babies"? See, that was now okay because there were only in the
well, they were heading for Capricorn, weren't they?
No, they were heading for Earth.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh. It's been so long since I've seen Battlestar Galactica, and I kind of got put off watching the original because of this pile of crap that came out, and everyone was loving it. And I'm like, I watched the first probably 5 episodes, and they turned face from, of course, the A-Team into a woman, and that pissed me off immensely. I know there are only cool signs in the new one, but in the original, Apollo and what was his name? Apollo and
Starbuck.
Oh my god, Apollo and Starbuck were my 2 favorites. So
okay,
yeah, no.
Now we have disharmony in the chat. Brogu agrees with me.
Yeah.
And guess what? Resolute agrees with you.
Yeah.
Now it was not a failure. Actually, what in the reimagined Battlestar Galactica, okay, that's what you would see. You would see people beginning to act like this in that situation. Now, one thing, there's some stuff I disagree with. Basically, the way Edward James almost played Adama, okay, mainly his leadership style, okay. When the episode when Starbuck figured out that Adama was telling everybody that commanders know where Earth is, but when she figured out that was a lie, and she violated orders and went back to that planet to get some scepter or whatever ordered by the president. Okay, Adama, when she got back, Adama would have had her ass shot if she was lucky. See, they didn't really play up the military aspect of it in some instances. She would probably not shot because she was a damn good pilot, but she'd have been in the brig, bread and water kind of stuff. He would have really came down on her. Okay. And that was the thing. That's what let's get off of this. Go to the
next we're all divided on this one, obviously.
Yeah. I like that
fine, which is fine. The time tunnel. Yeah.
This is where I get my hokey theories on time travel from.
Hey, Wayne.
Watching this show. Because they were time travelers, and they would, in this show, for the most part, they put them in historical events. So, they were at the Battle of the Alamo, Pearl Harbor,
Yeah.
some of the British stuff that happened in like India and things. And
Yeah.
they knew the history, they knew what was going to happen. They could not change it.
No.
They were
No.
participants
Yeah. They were
because
just observers.
yeah, see,
Yeah.
and to me, that's what time travel is. We may be able to go back and watch Pearl Harbor actually happen, but we could not man a machine gun and start shooting down Japanese Zeros.
No.
So,
No.
and
But it was a great series, and
yeah,
um,
so,
it's one I've seen a few times, and I liked it, but it didn't warrant my top 10. That's all I say.
yeah.
But
I mean,
it warrants yours, which is I understand completely. Time Tunnel's a classic.
yeah, that well, you'll find. I'm the older guy, so the classic stuff.
Only by a couple of years, Mr. Lonsdale.
Well, it's the classic stuff is what I like. You know,
Yeah, no, me too. But um, you know, you're so limited with the top 10. I'm going for what I would watch over and over again and how many times I've watched something. I kind of set myself into that sort of mindset to try and choose my favorites.
this one I would watch over and over though. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
This is why I was kicking at my desk, cursing. I put it in one spot, scratch it out, so this was one
Oh,
of
I
those.
know. You should have seen the first list I made. It was like a mess. I kept scribbling them out, moving them around, trying to make a gap for something else. But when you split British and American, you made it much easier. Oh, the Invaders. Yeah.
Another classic.
Another classic. Yeah.
Okay, now picture for all you youngsters that don't know. Here's the situation. You're late night, you're driving, and you're getting tired. Okay, so you see an exit you're on the highway, you see the exit, you pull off on the exit looking for a motel or something, you can probably get a sandwich and a Coke and you can go to bed for the night. And you go deeper and deeper down this little country road, and then you see it, a damn flying saucer right there in front of you. Okay. And they get out and they start doing things. And from this point on, you start trying to convince people that we are being invaded from another by people from another world. Okay, it's a trope, goes into the mindset of the red menace that U.S. still had to a degree in the '60s, and that was the whole show. This guy, he was a successful architect. He threw his basically destroyed his business.
Yeah.
Just to
Because
try
they
to
all thought it was a conspiracy nut.
yeah. Oh, okay.
And they do play into that.
Uh-huh. Land of the Giants. Okay, see, that's
Oh,
another one. I was cursing. I
yeah.
didn't
That
know what
now
to do. I just had to toss it off my list.
Land of the Giants was brilliant too. As I said, you're limited to a top 10.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd be here forever with a top 100.
Okay.
Ooh.
This. Okay. Some people, I mean, they're going to say, okay, he's off his rocker. But Wild Wild West, it is science fiction. It's a subgenre.
It's steampunk, isn't
Steampunk.
it? Yeah.
See, and
I've
this
never
was,
seen the original, so I'll hold my hands up to
yeah,
that.
the original television show is steampunk.
Yeah.
It was
I
steampunk.
did see Will Smith's version, and I thought that was absolute
That was
pants.
horrendous.
Yeah.
Even
It
Will
was
Smith agreed
was
that was
yeah, it
bad.
was terrible, terrible. But I had no idea there was a TV series. So
Yeah,
wow.
the,
Again, I learned something new today.
yeah. I mean, this was steampunk before it was steampunk.
Yeah.
So this is one thing I kind of wish someone could like reboot this, but then the jokers we got running Hollywood now, leave it alone.
Mm.
So you get a chance. If I were you, even though I know you don't like westerns, you should watch a couple of episodes, especially with Michelito Loveless. One of those episodes. That fucking midget gave him so much shit. Okay. And his little ass always got away. Okay. And
Eureka!
number 5
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
list. This show, okay, you got a U.S. Marshal that you think is transporting a prisoner. Got a in the trunk, handcuffed, and they have to pull into this town so he can get his car fixed. Come to find out, it's his daughter, and she keeps running away from home. And this town is so special
It
because
is.
it's where the government puts all the geniuses.
Yep.
And it's always something happening in this, that, he has to jump in and fix,
Yep.
almost averting, galactic disaster.
Oh yeah. The scientists in this are lunatics.
Yeah.
And again, I think I made the point last Monday. Warehouse 13 and Eureka are linked in the same universe, and they did 2 or 3 crossovers.
Yeah. And what I liked about it the most, you had all these geniuses, physicists and astrophysicists, all this in this town creating all of this shit. And it was usually him, the cop, the guy that, relies totally on logic and common sense, that's pulling their asses out of the fire.
Yep.
Computer goes crazy. They're trying to shut it. Then, everybody's typing like crazy to stop it. And he walks in, just unplug the damn thing, and that's what works.
Yep. Yeah, I liked Eureka. Didn't have room for it. And as I had Warehouse 13, it kind of ties in with Eureka anyway. So that kind of, oh my God, Space Above and Beyond, another great show.
Yeah, this was another Fox Network fuck up. This was, you want space battles?
Yeah.
This was space battles.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not one I will watch over and over again, though. So that's why I didn't make my list. But yeah, Space Above and Beyond, good show.
This was another just one season thing. So, I would watch it, I don't even think it went a full 26 episodes.
No, I don't think it did.
So yeah, I would this one I would most likely watch over and over. And
another cliffhanger. Yeah. Yeah, Resolute. You're not allowed that. That's a franchise.
I should be able to. Well,
I would have put that in mine. I would have put that in my list.
But the TV show itself,
You're just classing the TV show. But I would have put that in my top 10 if we were doing that. Well, and I would have put the X-Files in.
Yeah, see, you could have. I think you misinterpreted what I meant by franchise.
I classed it. It is a franchise, Stargate.
I was talking about those three: Star
Just
Wars,
those three.
Star Trek,
Uh,
and Doctor Who. See, those are the ones I would disqualify
well,
because
I own every single movie, SG1, Atlantis, and the one we don't talk about, Universe. I
well,
love Stargate.
Resolute. No, I am not disqualified. These are my rules. I make them up. See, but
Damn it! It would have been in my top 10. That so would have the X Files then.
yeah, well, they can
So
be
I'm
honorable.
honorably mentioning the X Files
Yeah,
right now. Then
and okay. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This
Outer Limits.
number two, it deserves the number two spot.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
As a
Well, at least
kid,
we've had a real mix here with the American ones, haven't we?
mhm, yeah, as a kid watching this, and you see the oscillation on the screen, and then it just goes down to that little dot. That would
Yeah.
always scare the hell out of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never figured out why, but it did. And they always had a creature of the week with this, since it was a what's the word? It was a different episode. It was a different story every week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was
It was. I always saw the Outer Limits as Twilight Zone on steroids.
better
That
yet.
makes sense.
Wayne Butler is better. Science fiction out of control.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was,
because the Twilight Zone played it safe. The Outer Limits didn't.
well, Twilight Zone was always more like Star Trek. It's here to make you think.
Mm.
This
Yeah,
was
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, this was more okay. Here's the monster. It's scary. Your kids are gonna have nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah.
that, was,
Absolutely.
that was more what Outer Limits was.
Mm. But that's why it's on my list. Both of them are just staple sci-fi, black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should see them. Have you ever seen a spin-off called Perversions of Science? No, Wayne.
No.
Not even heard of it.
Never heard of that either. Now I'm going to have to do some research.
Yeah.
And drum roll, please. Number one. Oh. Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone.
That, to me, has to be everybody's number one.
No.
Thriller is kind of tied with it, but Thriller is more horror than sci-fi.
Yeah. I mean, the Twilight Zone dabbled with everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about it. You had ghosts in one, you had aliens in another, you had dolls' houses where people got trapped. Just immensely fun to watch.
Yes. Thank you, words.
Hey, brilliant.
So,
I was going to ask you a question actually, Miss Londell, because as I've done a horror list and a sci-fi list, but they're a mix, shall we do the same next week? Do British sci-fi films and American sci-fi films and British horror films and American horror films?
okay,
That
now
would give us a bigger list.
Yeah, we can do that. Now we're gonna cross paths on so many.
Oh gosh, of course we are. Of course we are. Does everyone fancy that? We'll do the movies next. But we'll split them British and American. So we'll have a top 10 British one and a top 10 American one from both of us.
Yeah. Well, see, Wayne, to me, Night Gallery, Rod Serling was a former shell of himself.
Mm.
It had its moments, but okay, let's face it, Twilight Zone, you watch 30 minutes of that and you come away like,
yeah, and the stories were so good. You got so engrossed so quickly in them. And Resolute, thank you.
He's playing up to the British section now. Okay.
Well, he no one's wrong.
I know.
These are our opinions. No one's wrong. So what I'd like from you guys is, what would you put at number 1 for your British TV sci-fi? And what would be your number 1 for your American sci-fi TV? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to what you guys would put at number 1.
Okay. Science fiction used to have well-developed real characters, original stories, and covered human struggle themes: freedom, hope, oppression, repression, friendship, suffering, love. See, that's what I saw in the Galactica reboot.
You're not going to win this one with the reboot, you know that.
I know. You're stuck on Katie playing a cigar smoking fighter pilot. But now remember, that was one of the big political debates at the time. Women in combat. And even during the Gulf War, the first Gulf War under George Bush, we had women flying attack helicopters, blowing up Iraqi tanks. Okay.
Yeah. So, no, I get it completely.
So it really wasn't a shock to me that they would have a female fighter pilot.
There's no shock to me there were female pilots. They had female pilots in the original.
Yeah, sure did.
So, that's nothing new. So, okay, Resolute's gone for Prisoner for the British one. Great choice, Resolute. And Wayne went for Space 1999.
See, but Space 1999 to me, it just went off the deep slide.
See, season 2 was completely done by someone different. This is that's why it changed so dramatically. Now, I do have a friend who has an eagle, a model eagle, not a real big one. But he actually has one of the eagles, and they are so expensive to buy because I looked at buying one, and I'm like, no, I could buy a Dalek with that. If I'm going to buy anything, it's going to be a full-size Dalek.
Okay, yeah, I think that will be nice. American horror movie list, British horror movie list,
and then British sci-fi movie list and American sci-fi movie list. That'll give us a lot more room on both because I've done them all already, of course. So I'm going to have to redo them. Resolute for America, Quantum Leap. Easy. Yeah, Quantum Leap, absolutely. Can see that being number 1. Loved Quantum. This is why I was so upset with Enterprise putting Sam as the captain, because I really, really struggled to see anyone but Sam Beckett.
Well, I mean, I don't think I would put Quantum Leap up that high on a list.
unless you are a huge fan of it, like Resolute. Everyone has
But
their favorites, you know.
now I'm looking at this objectively because there's so much before that. I mean, that okay.
Yeah, but I mean, some of mine are a lot newer that I put in. That I think the newer they are, the harder they are to like because people can't write like they used to. But all those ones I put in are original, hadn't been done before. The stories are great. They work on the characters all the way through them, and you've got the modern side of the CGI, etc. And things like Grimm,
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. And
yeah.
it's just one of those things. And of course, Supernatural. I mean, oh my god, I swear everyone should watch. Just give it a go. You will be converted, I promise you. Metal Mickey. Oh my god, no! Hey Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey Mickey.
Metal
I'm not doing that
Mickey.
again.
Now, Wayne,
Wayne.
we do not mention that here.
Nope.
Damn, I didn't run my crawl. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
we took Star Trek, Star Wars, and Doctor Who out of the list because they're all dead now.
I can't bring myself to put anthology shows like Outer Limits and Twilight Zone at the top. They took the easy way out by changing this. No, that is not the easy way out. See, what you're doing in an anthology show is you are showcasing various talent.
Short stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like because of shows like Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, you wouldn't know about Harlan Ellison or in some cases Isaac Asimov.
Mm.
See,
However, I do agree with him to a degree that anthology shows, because they're one-off stories every week, you get into the story and it's over. Whereas if you're watching something like Supernatural, you're watching a show grow, you're
yeah,
learning about the characters, it's continuation, and by the time you get to season 15, you know more about them than they do themselves, Yeah, Andromeda, that's another good one. I mean, Andromeda was really good the first couple of seasons and then dipped royally.
yeah, it did.
Buck Rogers was okay. It wasn't one of my favorites, and Biddy annoyed the fuck out of me. Knight Rider, yeah, honourable mention, of course, Knight Rider. And do you know what? I actually had the $6 Million Man written down on one of my lists and had to take it out for something else.
That's one that it didn't cross my mind. I don't have any on heart. I don't have any other episodes, so that's probably why.
Well, I've actually got in my loft the capsule and obviously Buck Rogers, and you could look through his eye and it's magnified.
Yeah.
You pushed a button and his arm would raise up, and you could roll back his skin and take out the chips.
Yeah, my brother had one of those.
Yeah, and it's still in the original box and everything. It's really cool.
Jeff,
Babylon 5.
B5.
Yeah.
Okay, it depends on your take on the story behind Babylon 5. See, there's this pinhead that we are so that Yvette and I are associated with. He wants to say that DS9 stole from Babylon 5. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I mean,
They're
two,
both a space station.
yeah,
I can see where he's making the links, but I don't agree with it. Babylon 5 was completely different to DS9. Word says I can hear him saying it in my head right now.
I mean, it to me, it's what any movie genre or television show genre. It's all a bunch of tropes anyway.
Mm.
And if you put people on a space station, there are X amount of things that will happen,
Yeah.
regardless of the universe you put it in.
Mm.
Okay, so it to me, to say this one stole from that one and yada yada yada, no, they're all using the same tropes.
Well, to be fair, we can go back further with the space station. Doctor Who, I know it's not part of the
Yeah,
show, but there was a whole 4 episodes it was used in. So space stations have been about a lot longer than Babylon 5 or Deep Space Nine. So, you could say anything about anything. It's just
yeah. Oh,
it's just one of those things.
this one flew under my radar.
Ah, I've
Say,
never seen that.
yeah, uh it's about basically an astronaut program, and they have a
Ah.
base on the moon, and
Oh.
they they it's 30 minutes. It's like a half hour show, and one episode, the the commander actually took his wife with him when he was doing a stint on the moon, and so she was doing female things, you know, the
Cooking and
kitchen,
cleaning.
cooking, cleaning. You wouldn't like that episode.
Serving coffee again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
god, that film was so funny.
when we get okay. That film is gonna be on my list, and when I'm gonna have to tell that story to
Yeah.
all the new people of what
Yeah.
happened that Saturday.
Oh, I was just crying with laughter. It's so funny.
Of course, I knew you were going to react that way. Okay, I knew it.
I wasn't offended. It was just so ludicrous.
Yeah. And every
Walk
time I've
TV
seen that
series.
movie, I kind of cringe because I know modern day women would get totally.
I did not bitch about that side of it. I was just laughing my arse off because they were all doctors or physicists anyway, but they were still serving coffee on a rocket on tables and chairs like they were on the ground, and nothing was sloshing around, and the whole thing was just so utterly silly. I've never heard of that.
I've heard, yeah, it was a American show. This writer, Richard Benjamin, came up with, and he played. He was like the head of. It was like a garbage scow that he flew, and it was a comedy.
Ah,
I think you can probably find it on YouTube.
more than likely. Henry Youngman. Is that from that show?
Take my wife, please. Oh, Thomas is. I guess he's joking about it
Ah.
and the dining room scene. So everybody, give us your take on the lists. Good, bad, horrendous. What the fuck
And
was
who won?
when you did
Who
this?
do you think won on the list? Just
Yeah,
out of curiosity. Who had the better of the lists? They're going to be very diplomatic and pick one of mine and one of yours.
I
I
know.
know our audience.
They probably are.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. And it was great that you came up with the idea to expand it like that. And now we can do the movies like that as well, which means we can expand them, which is great too, because Jesus Christ, that was harder than the TV series.
The movies might be a tad bit more easier for me, especially when it comes to the British movies.
Well, now I found out that franchises are only those three. I can include some stuff I'd actually discluded because they are franchises,
Yeah.
like Hellraiser or Alien. You know.
Okay. Stargate. It was valid. Resolute. Okay. I did not fully explain the franchise remark. That's all.
Yeah.
I was
Everyone's a winner, says Jeff. We get participation. I don't want a participation trophy. I'm not that
okay.
desperate.
Brogo.
Brogo.
Yeah, Salvage One.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's been premiered on my channel. It's there. You can go watch it right now.
Thomas, great list from both hosts. Thank you, Thomas.
Oh, Thomas, that's a cop out.
It is, but it's so nice.
Oh, we've been going an hour.
Yeah, I know. Well, my
42
bladder's
minutes.
telling me that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think I've done quite well.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I
So
haven't.
it is definitely time for Miss Yvette to take her break, and
Yeah, back to work in the morning as well. Yeah.
I have to start thinking about what I'm going to cook. Everybody, this is where we close it down. Thank you all for
Well,
coming. Next time,
yeah. All 12
next time
people
we're doing.
watching.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we got 12 watching. Don't forget to hit the like. If you're not subscribed, why not? And share it out. It helps the channel. Yeah. So next Sunday it's movies. Brit versus USA again.
Uh-huh. And yeah, I think we will do that kind of yeah.
And then we can go from there.
In fact, you guys can make your own list, put it in like the chat, not the chat box, but where you
afterwards. If you want to see a particular top 10 from us, put it in the comments after the show finishes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And we'll do a top 10 that you want to see. But next week's definitely horror and sci-fi, Brit and American lists, like we did with the TV shows. And then we can go from there. You guys give us some ideas or something you want to see as a top 10.
Now, are you doing sci-fi list and a horror list?
I've done them. I'm going to have to redo them and split them, British and American.
Okay. So it'll be British
And
horror,
American
sci-fi,
sci-fi,
and then,
British and
yeah.
American horror.
So that's 4 lists. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we did today. Didn't we? Yeah. 1, 2. Oh no. So we could do
We did 2
Yeah.
each today.
Yeah. So if we do, I don't know, horror next week and then sci-fi the week after. If it's
Yeah.
taking us nearly 2 hours for each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll work. I think that'll work out better.
Yeah, it works out well.
So
That was brilliant fun. Thank you, Mr. London.
yeah, thanks you for coming.
Yeah.
So for Miss Yvette and everyone else, watch some good TV shows, watch some bad TV shows, American or British, doesn't matter. Until next time, Mr. Lundell and panel out.